Now that you have recovered, you pull yourself out of bed, surprised to note that your silver, clothes and shoes are still on your person. You are missing your dagger, however, and you remember that the guide kept it after finishing off the Red Man. As much as you want to chase down the scar-faced northerner, you need to get your dagger back. Plus, at this point, there are more questions than answers about the guide, and you have hopes of finding some of them out. You venture into Esk to find him. You don't walk far when a little boy in blue approaches. You muse that the guide's son is following in his father's footsteps, leading you to where you need to go. He takes you to the foot of a small hill where towering over Esk is a windmill. The guide is there, smiling. He kneels to his son and embraces him. "Thank you, my man." He slips the boy a silver piece. "Now treat yourself. Off you go." The guide's eyes follow his son with clear affection, marking every aspect of his visage. Then his eyes meet yours and you are surprised that his features barely change. "Are you not worried your boy will be hurt in the town?" You indicate towards his child running to the markets. The guide laughs and shakes his head. "He will learn to fight with the other boys and girls in the street. But no adult would harm a child of Esk. That is a fate worse than death. Come, let me show you something." You follow him up the hillside to the base of the mill. He looks up, happiness never leaving his eyes. "Your victory has returned this to my family." This shocks you. You don't know if you should feel angry about being tricked into that fight. Your instincts tell you the guide is a good man, but there is still every chance you are being played. He sees the confusion written across your face. "You would be a terrible Canistar player." He references the card game widely played across Calum. "This way." He leads you further up the hill while explaining this was his sister's mill. It's used to extract the milk from the cactus used for runcorn. Escape bread, as it's known to northerners. You both approach a much larger building with red markings on display, making it clear what class of people are welcome here. You pause, remembering what the guide told you early on: stay away from reds. He chuckles. "You are learning after all, foreigner. But not to worry, I just haven't changed the colour back to blue yet." You stare at him in disbelief. "Inside, we have much to discuss." You are taken aback at the lavishness of his new home. You sit down with the guide and he explains that this was his family home. His mother was a powerful red, but unfortunately, both he and his sister did not inherit her prowess for combat. They were far from weak, but it took something special to wear the red. This surprises you as the red you had defeated did not seem that difficult. The dagger the guy lent you to kill him must be a powerful item indeed. The guide explains that you would have gained all his assets if not for the fact you were foreign, and thus they passed to the previous owner, the guide, and his family. "You have returned to me my family legacy, foreigner, and as such you can become a part of it if you wish. But we have more urgent matters to discuss." He cuts you off before you start to question him about it. "For instance, your mission. How did you feel about it when you first left the Advocate's Bastion?" With everything the guide has known about you so far, this new bit of information he has is not really a shock. The Arcos Faith sent you to kill a man hiding in Scoria. The man was wanted for murder and you were tasked with executing him. First, how do you know so much about why I'm here? The silence hangs in the air, but you remember him saying that directness was valued in Scoria. He fixes you with a hard stare. You match it. Then a warm smile washes over his face again before regaining his composure. "I have a spy in the Arcos Church who I pay well for information. I also care deeply for their anonymity." The second part is not quite a threat, but the weight of its meaning is not lost on you. "Now answer my question, please." You think for a moment. You remember feeling righteous, you say out loud as you realize that's no longer the emotion you attach to your task. "Now it feels like more of an obligation," you say thoughtfully. "How suited would you say you are to the life of an assassin?" You think for a moment. You're a competent fighter and tracker, but you can't seem to imagine yourself as an assassin. "Put it this way, my friend. An assassin has the capacity to garner information in order to find their target. What is my first name? You try and recall it and realize you have no idea. Wow. I'm sorry. You are shocked by this revelation. It's Ensane, the guide says with a warm smile. Turning the word over in your mind, you say, hope and kindness, the direct translation from Scoria. It was given to me by my mother, and it is sometimes even true. You are no assassin, friend. You were influenced, Insane continues. You look at him quizzically. How much do you know of magic? He asks. Almost nothing. Before coming here, I was skeptical it even existed. Your dagger changed my mind about that though. That is runic magic. It is not too dissimilar to the magics northerners use. It is just harnessed in a different way. Insane explains that the advocate that sourced you on behalf of the Arcos Church used magic to influence you. The magic did not last forever, but left you with a great desire to complete what you were asked to do. The mission is real, but the reason for it is false. Navarre is no killer. The charges they have on him are falsified. They want him dead because he knows. Knows what, you ask? Sometimes you surprise me with your intellect, foreigner. This is not one of those moments. He stares at you, waiting for you to make the connection. Realizing what he was saying, you were surprised at how obvious it was. For good reason, anyone involved with religion was forbidden to practice magic. The following for the Arcos faith had skyrocketed in recent years. You were not a particularly religious person yourself, so it was not something you cared to think about too much. But now, having experienced firsthand the manipulation of the church, you realise just how horrific their using magic could be. The freedom of people's choice was on the line. You know Navarre? Well enough, Insane replies. You and him are quite alike. Insane goes on to explain that Navarre fled the Arcos church as they were going to kill him. He came to Scoria as he thought it would be the only place they wouldn't chase him to. He was obviously wrong about this, as here you are. Last Insane had heard, Navarre fought in honour combat and actually earned his colours, and now travels through Scoria as one of them. What am I to do now? You think out loud. The offer to join my family stands, foreigner, but you would need to accept your colours. He was referring to wearing the coloured cloth to label you within their society. Where would I stand in the grand scheme of things? What would my colours be? That is not for me to decide. But if that does not appeal to you, you could also go and visit with my sister in Vailin. She knows of this conflict within the Arcos Church, and may have information for you. You think on this a moment and realise that you could also seek out the northerner living in Esk. When you asked him to stay and talk, he seemed flustered and definitely knows something he feels the need to tell you. What will you do? Thank you everyone for watching. This time we have 3 choices. You can accept your colours and join the guide's family. You can travel to Vailin and talk to his sister about the magical corruption within the Church of Arcos. Or you can seek out the scarred northerner and find out what information he has. As ever, please leave your answers in the comments below, and I hope this entertainment has earned your like and subscription to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.